6 days ago. Well, actually, it started 3 years ago when my brother Andrew and me joined Jesus to start his kingdom. But last Sunday, we thought the kingdom had come. He told us so much, and he trusted us so much. He even called me Rocky. Good old Peter. I was going to be the rock on which everything stood. And this is where it started. Oh, it was a wonderful time. We had the branches and we had our cloaks and we were just screaming our heads off because this was the coming of the Lord. The new day would come. Philip thought that the temple would suddenly turn to gold as we walked into town, but it didn't happen. On Thursday, we went in the afternoon and we began the feast. And I want to tell you, that dinner, I don't know what happened, but during that dinner, it all clicked. We suddenly became one with each other. You ever notice that when you're in a group and you suddenly know that you all belong together and this is the kingdom of God? It was that kind of moment. Jesus took us out to the Mount of Olives, just up there from this road. He liked to go there to pray, and this night he was praying too. He asked James and John and I to come with him a little ways away from the others, and then he went maybe a stone's throw farther. But you know, we'd had a lot of wine, and we were drowsy. I heard him say something about, "Take this cup from me, but not my will, but yours, Father." I heard something like that, but I was so tired. And then Jesus was shaking me and waking me up. And then he went to pray again. And then he came back and shook me again. And this time he said, "Get up, get up. They're coming now." And I looked out, and sure enough, here come these men, a crowd of men with torches and clubs and swords. Judas came up and gave Jesus a kiss on the cheek. And that must have been the sign, because the other ones all rushed forward and grabbed him. And the rest of us, all of us disciples, we ran for it. We got out of there. But just as soon as I realized that no one was chasing me, I turned around and I snuck around in the shadows. I followed the band with Jesus as they took him to the high priest's house. Took him in there, and I don't know what was going on, but I came into the courtyard to warm myself by the fire, and somebody says, "Aren't you with that fellow they just brought in?" I said, No, not me. Somebody else says, "Well, you look awfully familiar. I think you were with that bunch." No, you got the wrong man. You're mistaken." And somebody else said, "Oh, I'm sure. You've got a Galilean accent. You must be with him." I said, "You are completely wrong. I don't know him. I've never met him. I have nothing to do with him." And I ran out of that courtyard and around the corner and hid in the shadows, and it suddenly dawned on me what I had just done. I had cut Jesus off. And I remembered at that supper on Thursday night, he said I would. He was talking about what was coming up, and I guess none of us were really paying attention. He was talking about somebody betraying him, and we were all saying, "Not me. I don't want to be your betrayer. I can't do that. Not me." And I said, "Lord, I will stand by your side. I will give my life for you. They'll only get you over my dead body." And he said, "No, Peter, I wish that were true. But before the cock crows in the morning, you will have denied me 3 times. And as I'm leaning against that wall in the dark, I heard the rooster crow. I ran and hid. They tell me that they took Jesus to the Roman governor, and he was convicted of sedition and hung as a traitor on a cross. And I denied him. I wouldn't stand up for him. I ran like just some scared person, like a rabbit. But you know, at that supper, in fact, even when Jesus told me that I would betray him, it was not like he was accusing me. It was like he knew me. He knew me so deeply and completely. And when he said that, it wasn't like he was accusing me. It was just like he was saying, I understand. And this is the way it's going to be. And then he took the bread. He gave thanks to God, and then he broke it. And he said, this bread is my body broken for you. Eat it in remembrance of me. Likewise, he took the cup, gave thanks to God, and said, this is the cup of the new covenant. This wine is my blood, which is spilled for you. Drink it, all of you, in remembrance of me. Don't forget. Eat hearty.